Hello, this is Roberto and this is the HVAC is my channel. Today we're going to be talking about heat load calculation for condominiums part 3. Alright, so let's get into it. So in the previous video we made sure we have the envelope values and we studied very well the floor plan, which is very important. Now that we are knowledgeable on the floor plan, and now that we know and we have the data, which is this part, right? We have this floor plan. Now what we can do is we can do the floor layout in Wrightsoft. Okay, so we're gonna do that little by little. Okay, so let's start drawing the rooms, which is the most important part. Okay, so the reason I'm not importing this PDF inside Wrightsoft is because it's not in scale. Because if you find a PDF drawing that says scale 3 to 6 equals 1 feet or 1/8 or 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, then in that case I could just import it and then draw over it. It's okay. But in this case I'm not very sure about that scale. I didn't find any scale, and also it's gonna be a very good practice for us to do it without importing a PDF file. So I'm just gonna draw it like that. And honestly, in the field, sometimes the homeowner, sometimes they don't have the drawings, and usually what the contractor does is they just do a layout, like a sketch with the pencil, and they just give you the dimensions. So that's why this is going to be a very good practice. All right, okay, so in order to start drawing the rooms, I need to make sure of the grids. What grid is my grid system? So do you remember in my other videos this is 1 1 1 1? So let's check in here. So if you're going to go to drawings, in drawings you're going to be able to see in here grid settings, right? So go to drawings, go to grid settings. Under grid settings, what do we have in here? Let's check. In here we're going to have 12 12 12 12. So the distance between each dot is 12 inches. So in this case, to make it more accurate, why do I make it 6? You're going to see why I make it 6. So I'm going to put in here 6. Here 6. So the grid is 6 6, right? The snap is going to match that 6 6, and we're going to leave the margin 2024. So I just worry about the grid and the snap to make it 6. And what's the reason for that? Because there are some dimensions that say 15 feet 7 inches. So in that case we're going to make it like 15 inch 6 inches, right? Or in this case, for example, we have 9 feet 5 inches, right? In that case we're just going to make it 9 feet 6 inches, or this 14 feet 10 inches. So in that case we're going to make it 15 feet. So we're just going to have that level of accuracy. One time, so look at this. This is 27 feet 6 inches, so that's perfect. Okay, but you might be wondering why not to put 1 1 1 and 1, which is going to be more accurate. I agree, it's more accurate because now you're going to be able to put 12 feet 10 inches. Honestly, I did this once and I get into so much trouble when I was making my duct design. So overall, 6 inches in here is not a bad idea. Put it 6 inches, because also this is not even going to be the best accurate, because you need to consider also, see this, the thickness of the walls, right? Because when we draw it in Wrightsoft, you're drawing a line. However, the walls have thickness, right? So this is a very good approximation of the heat load. So we're going to put 6 6 6 6, or everything is 6. Okay, then it's done. See, it's 6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the room layouts. Okay, we're going to do this fast, but in order to do it quickly and fast, remember, let's start with the first room. Okay, I'm gonna go to my HVAC shape toolbox, click on room, and here you go. I have a room, right? So in that room, I'm gonna call it the den. How about that? Okay, so this room is gonna be called den. Okay, den. There we go. So I already created the den. When you are doing the first room, put your insulation values. Okay, what are the insulation values of this den? We're gonna make this right click. We're doing right click on the property sheet, Okay, so what's the room? In the room, we're going to have room. The name is then, included calculations, yes. Zone name, entire house, yes. Room heating condition, that's going to be air only, not hydronic. I don't have hydronic system here. So room cooling condition, air only, the same thing. Room type, it doesn't matter. Kitchen, bedroom, I don't know why they don't remove this, but just leave it ordered. Room height, we're gonna leave it as 9. 9 is a standard. Sometimes there are houses that are 8, but worst case scenario, you can put it 9. It's just gonna make your load a little bit bigger, so it's safe. You can put 9 as average. Now internal loads, we don't know the internal loads yet. So since we don't know the internal loads yet, in that case, we're just gonna leave it 0, 0. Don't put a load in here yet, because this is a strategy to make it fast. As remember, because if you put 500, I'm gonna copy the same room like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times. So every time you're gonna have to change the loads, because the loads are gonna be the same for all of them. So that's why I'm leaving it at 0. You're gonna see later why. Now, what is this? Duct heat loss factor, okay? What is the duct loss heat factor? That's very important. That's telling you where my ducts are. So when you click on it, and then what is it telling you? Where my ducts are. We're gonna move this to the side a little bit. There we go. And then we're gonna click in here. Now, in this case, where are my supply duct located? In my case, because it's a condominium, and then this condo apartment or condo unit is in the middle, is on the second floor, at the bottom is the first floor, and above condo number 2 is the third floor, so it's in the middle. It's like a sandwich, right? So my ducts are completely in a conditioned space. Return in a conditioned space. That saves a lot of energy, honestly. Okay, now what is my configuration of my supply? The supply is going to be radial perimeter outlets. It's going to be perimeter outlets, which means my registers are on the perimeter where it's exposed wall, right? So perimeter outlets is good, but it's not radial because it's not in the attic and it's not flex. So in this case, we're going to put radial perimeter now. Trunk and branch perimeter outlets. There you go. I'm going to have trunk and branches. There we go. So now ceiling type, we're going to put it average, insulation number 6, and then leakage, all good in here, all good. Okay. Now we're going to go to the return, the same thing. In the return, we're going to have a conditioned space. Everything's in a conditioned space configuration. Radial is not radial. We're going to put it trunk and branch. Okay. Okay. Trunk and branch close to the unit. Honestly, in this case, I have one central unit located here in the utility area or mechanical big closet, and then my only return is right there. It's in that case, okay? There should have 2 return grills, one in the master bedroom and one in here in the main area. But after doing a site survey, that's why it's important to go check the house, the existing conditions. I found one grill in here, one return grill. So what we're going to do is we're going to put trunk and branch close to the unit, okay? So the same thing, ceiling average 6, and then ambient temperature, everything's looking good, and then we hit okay. Perfect. So now we have everything in there. See, duct loss heat factor, that's all good. And now we're going to go for the other one. See, it's the same thing, Automatic bridge, yes. Heating, this is going to be filled up later, okay? So room is all good to go. Now we're going to go for the wall. What's the wall? In the wall, we're going to have insulation values. What were my insulation values for the wall? As you remember in my previous video, the wall insulation value was R13. So now we're going to go clicking here. We're going to go to my libraries. We're going to go to exposed wall. Exposed 2x4 R13. You can create these libraries however you want. And I have different videos about how to create a library. So since we created a library, we have exposed wall, and you already have the settings, see? Brick, in this case it's going to be brick. You can also have vinyl, see? It could change vinyl if it's siding outside. But in this case, we're going to put brick and sheeting. Cavity insulation is R13. And why did we say R13? It's a low insulation value, but this house was built in 1975. So we're assuming the worst case scenario, R13. We're gonna see what's our size of the system, right? Okay, interior, exterior, framing 2x4, start spacing. You can be more specific, honestly, on that. You can be absolutely specific. And if you don't want to be so specific, you can always go to custom values in here. See, you put directly your value, done. See, insulation value R13. But in this case, we're doing the radio buttons, and then we have OK. So now we have R13, and it's going to be all for all the walls. Now we're going to go for the ceiling. In the ceiling, we're going to be able to have the ceiling insulation value was R38. So in that case, we're going to put in here R38. We're going to put ceiling. Where is ceiling? There's no ceiling. There you go. Ceiling R38. For ceiling R38, we're going to have this insulation value right here. See, ceiling insulation R38, which in this case is not going to matter, honestly. Why? Because this condo unit, since it's a sandwich, is located in the middle of the unit 1 at the bottom and unit 3 at the top. So it's not exposed. The ceiling is not exposed, so this doesn't matter. So you can put OK. In other words, this ceiling area exposed will say 0. So no problem, but we'll do that later. Now in the floor, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have a slab. We said insulation for the floor R10. So we're going to have in here a slab. Where is the slab? R10. There we go. Slab R10. We're going to put this is carpet. And again, it's not going to matter because my floor or the floor of this condo is not exposed. So in other words, we're going to select this, but it's going to, in here, it's going to say 0 exposed wall. We're done. That's all we need. This room is ready to be copied and measured, okay? So that's the very much first step, and we're gonna be careful about that. Now, secondly, this is very important also. I need to define my orientation. Don't forget the orientation because otherwise you get into trouble. I know by personal experience. Okay, so where is the main door? The main entrance is right here. See, foyer is right here. So that door is oriented south, so faces south. So depending, I don't want to confuse anyone. In my other videos, I showed the arrow pointing into the unit, okay? But when we're doing heat load calculation, we make this based on where the door faces. The door facing out is south. See, this is my orientation in here. This is gonna be south. Let's make this like this. See, like this. There you go. All right, so that is south. And you can always check that in Google. You have the address, you can check that in Google or any other device. See, south. Since this is south, upward is north. So that's gonna mean that this is north right here, right? That's gonna be north, right? And then on the sides, this is gonna be east and this is gonna be west. So technically my orientation in here, as you can see, this is north. So we're all good. But now let's put that in here too in the project information. See, in here we're gonna put in here north. See, in here it says something. Front door faces north. So we're all good with orientation. Okay, so we already created the den. Let's make one room and we're gonna finish that video because we're gonna continue in the next video. I don't want to make these videos very long. So what is this den? The den size is 12 feet by 10. So in this case, we're gonna have in here, let's just move this a little bit. Right now, if I go down, it's gonna grow, see? Yeah, now we have 12. We go like this way, now it's gonna be 10. There we go. So when you click in here, the way you can see your dimensions is at the top, at the bottom right corner. Do you see in here it says 10 by 12? Okay, 10 by 12. Or you can measure it too. You go here, so this is the dimension. So we're just gonna grab it from here to here. Okay, so this is 12, just to make sure, right? And then we're gonna measure it from here to here. That's gonna be 10. There we go. We have a 10 by 12. See, 10 by 12. 10 by 12. What's the name? The name is a den. That's all right. So in the next video, follow me, but because what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this room to copy all the other rooms like this quickly, very quickly. See, we're gonna copy all the rooms and we're gonna assemble all the rooms. That's very quick and effective. And also we're gonna create another level. So the last part of this video is gonna be changing the level. What's the level of this? This is called the second floor. I'm gonna put in here under sheet. See, under sheet, right click, and you're gonna put in here edit sheet, right? Edit sheet. Under edit sheet, what you're gonna put in here is second floor. Second floor. And then since we're talking about the building level, we're gonna put in here instead of elevation. This doesn't really matter so much, but let's just put this to make it correct. So since I'm located on the second floor, since this is located on the second floor, we're gonna put in here 9. There you go. And the third floor would be 18 and the first floor would be 0. So there we go. We have that. Okay, in the next video we're going to create the other floors because they are conditioned. That has to be included in the calculations. All right, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.